What's up, everybody? Welcome back to How About That Crypto, your home for crypto and Web3 news and updates. And today is all about adoption at top banks, money managers, and government levels, and it's happening right now. Yes, finally, some good news that I get to share with you. I'm sure there's some other stuff that I could share with you, but these stories really caught my eye. And so I wanted to share them with you. Don't forget, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. You can use the links below to do your own research. And yeah, let's go. So adoption at the top banks, money managers, and government levels is happening now. Hong Kong opens its doors open wide. Big banks buy Bitcoin. Institutional players bidding for FTX assets. Speaking of adoption, a huge partnership has happened. And if you wait till the end, I'll share with you what Forbes says the next big trend, and you're going to love it. All right, so let's just dive right in. I hope you all had a good weekend. I'm sorry I'm coming to you a little late this week. It was a holiday. Okay, so let's just dive. I'm just going to jump right in. And I think I said this already, but I'm going to say it again. This is not financial advice. And you can use links below to do your own research. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. If you're listening on podcast, you could use the links below to follow along, or you can just listen up. All right. All right, so this is an article on euronews.com, and it says it's by Reuters, and the author is Georgina Lee, and it's titled Hong Kong Set to Shortlist Crypto Tokens for Retail Trading. So I'm just going to read a couple of things from here real quick. Hong Kong securities watchdog will propose a subset of tokens. Hong Kong securities watchdog will propose a subset of tokens it would allow for retail investors trading, its chief executive said on Wednesday, as it presses on with a new regulatory regime that will make the city more friendly to crypto startups. So currently right now, crypto trading, from what I understand, is only available to institutional investors for them, and it's banned in mainland China. Mainland China and Hong Kong is one country, two systems, and they are talking about how, I don't think it's going to be legal on mainland China, but it will in Hong Kong. But as you probably know, if you don't remember, it is banned in mainland China. Okay. As investor protection will continue to be the focus of the new virtual asset service provider, or VSAP, regime, the Securities and Futures Commission will also seek public views about specific guardrails for retail trading, said Julia Lung, Chief Executive Officer at the Commission. Virtual assets have in the past year gone from peak to low price levels. The good thing is that when the froth is taken out from the system as platforms and some tokens collapsed, it focuses investors and sellers' minds on investor protection. So, these stories that I picked, I think it's really important to understand that when governments, big banks, big money managers, investment banks, like the top, like big deal. Hong Kong is a very big deal especially when it comes to international trade. It's kind of like considered the gateway to Asia, at least East Asia. So it's a big deal. Okay. And what they're basically saying here is that they're going to create a licensing process. They're going to seek public comment, and by 2024, they hope to start accepting applications for the license. And it says that they're actually happy that there's been a crash because it takes the froth out of the system, which is what we've been saying for a while. Get the people that are just in there to make a quick dollar, and the scammers, get them out of there, and focus on building something that can last last into the long run. All right, so let me know what you think about that. That's been some of the more exciting news that's gone underreported because of the FTX, and then the DCG and the Genesis and the Gemini, and then we had a pump that looked like it was like the pump in Bitcoin looks like it's been through manipulation. It's not real. So anyway, I'm sure you might have a statement about that. Next up is an article by Godfrey Benjamin for Crypto Newsflash. Banking giant with $6.5 trillion dollars worth of assets now holds Bitcoin and gives adoption with BlackRock. $6.5 trillion. That's a lot of money. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit here. American multinational banking giant Morgan Stanley has added Bitcoin as one of the assets as it's managing for its clients. As reported by Trust Nodes, the bank's investment in Bitcoin was made through its Europe Opportunity Fund with direct investment into the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. We've been talking a lot about that. I think it's funny that they're using Europe. I wonder why. Because it's American company. I wonder if it has to do with regulation. According to the company's filing, its total investment in GBTC came in at $3.6 million, a buy that comes at a time when the broader crypto market is struggling to regain its long-lost luster. So now that the fear is in the streets, blood is in the streets, and fear is gripping everybody, Morgan Stanley swoops in and buys $3.5 million worth. The fund may, consistent with its principal investment strategies, invest up to 25% of its total assets in a wholly owned subsidiary of the fund. It says, adding, the subsidiary may invest in Bitcoin directly through cash-settled futures or indirectly through investments in Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, a privately offered investment vehicle that invests in Bitcoin. So they're saying futures, or they'll buy stocks in the trust. Investing in Bitcoin directly or indirectly does not come as an everyday occurrence in the banking sector. Amen to that. While many banks, as spearheaded by the likes of Morgan Stanley, are now warming up to crypto and blockchain-related offerings, their role has been strict to offer services bordering on OTC or over-the-counter trading and crypto custody, among others. And then I'm just going to scroll down here. The banking giant walking in the path of BlackRock. So this investment by Morgan Stanley into Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and by extension Bitcoin, is considered as a growing trend and a vote of confidence in determining the future of the premier cryptocurrency. And what now comes off as a trend, BlackRock, arguably the largest investment management firm in the world, has also added Bitcoin to its $15 trillion global allocation fund. Unlike Morgan Stanley, which invests indirectly, BlackRock's investments reportedly made directly into the coin. So I think that's massive that BlackRock's buying the coin, Goldman Sachs is buying, and BlackRock is offering it, and they're in one of their funds. And I mean, this is huge. This is so huge. All right, let me know what you think. Let me know if you think this is such bigger news than FTX and Genesis and DCG and everything. The banks are buying it. I mean, the banks are buying it, and the governments are opening up, big government, big deal, international finance governments are opening it up. Come on, America, step it up. All right. Moving on, institutions make a move on FTX assets. So this is Martin Young in Cointelegraph. The title is FTX units on auction block draw 117 interested buyers, the court filing says. So let me just read you a couple things here. 4 businesses up for sale as part of bankruptcy proceedings include Embed, LedgerX, FTX Japan, FTX Europe. As many as 117 parties have expressed interest in buying one or more of FTX's independently operated subsidiaries. The court filing was made on January 8th. A partner at blah, 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 who cares? Approximately 117 parties, including various financial and strategic counterparties globally, have expressed interest to the debtors in a potential, basically, big dogs are trying to buy it. Well, do we know if it's a big dog? Well, let me show you something. You might remember this. But 117, I mean, these people got money, and they've entered into 59 confidentiality agreements with potential counterparties. So some people want this stuff. I mean, they're getting it at a discount, but people are buying their assets, meaning they still think that there's a future in crypto. FTX just bombed, and it had nothing to do with crypto. So, like I said, you might remember this. This was back in the beginning of December, and I'm just going to play a little video for you. Hold on one second. I'm going to bam, 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 bam. So I really want to show you this little video here real quick. All right, and action.
The massive collapse of multi-billion-dollar crypto exchange FTX has grabbed headlines, spooked investors, and turned its former CEO Sam Bankman-Fried from so-called wonderkin to pariah in just weeks. But among the carnage, at least one major bank sees a buying opportunity: Goldman Sachs. Reuters has learned exclusively that Goldman plans to spend tens of millions of dollars scooping up or taking stakes in beaten-down crypto companies. With investor interest dampened, those companies can now come relatively cheap for those who are still crypto believers, which apparently Goldman Sachs is. The bank's head of digital assets told Reuters that Goldman is doing due diligence on a number of different crypto firms, adding that while FTX set back market sentiment, crypto's underlying technology, quote, continues to perform. But rival banks are more skeptical, especially as calls mount for heightened regulation. At a Reuters Next conference on December 1st, Morgan Stanley CEO James Gorman said that while he didn't think cryptocurrencies were going away, he couldn't, quote, put an intrinsic value on it. And HSBC CEO Noel Quinn told a bank...
Hold on. So I hope you like that. That was December 6th, and just over a month later, we're buying Bitcoin. He said Morgan Stanley can't do it. And then now I just reported to you that they did, and Goldman Sachs was spending millions. So I don't know. What do you think about this? Let me know. Leave a comment below, and I am moving on. Okay, so this is in medium.com, and it looks like it's a story without an author. Let's see. Does it have an author? It just says Ava Labs. So I guess this is like something from that came straight from Ava Labs. Ava Labs created Avalanche, the AVAX token. Okay, so, and it's called Ava Labs and AWS bring scalable blockchain solutions to enterprise and governments. Remember, it's not just governments liking it. It's not just the biggest banks in the world liking it. Now it's the biggest corporations in the world are inking partnerships. So let me read something real quick. Ava Labs and Ava Labs and Amazon Web Services, also known as AWS, have joined forces to accelerate enterprise, institutional, and government adoption of blockchain. AWS supports Avalanche's infrastructure and dApp ecosystem, including one-click node deployment through the AWS marketplace. Critically, Avalanche node operators can run an AWS GovCloud for FedRAMP compliance use cases. Okay, that I don't know what that is, but okay, GovCloud, I'll get to it in a second, but basically it's for like government level applications that focus on compliance. Okay, there's a vital capability and prerequisite for enterprises and governments. So anybody that's looking to build an application that's going to be, heavily compliant, really going to focus on compliance because they want to work with the government, or they just want to create something that isn't going to get sued, like Gemini and Genesis, maybe. And then it goes down here, it goes, Ava Labs plans to add subnet deployment as a managed service to AWS Marketplace, so both individuals and institutions can launch custom subnets with just a few clicks. This functionality aims to include a feature to distribute validators securing the subnet across different regions and availability zones to improve robustness. What does that mean? Well, basically it's saying that you can spin up a node, which a node is something that holds the data on the blockchain, and you can launch nodes real easily, and you need multiple people to participate and run nodes in order to run a blockchain so that they can be distributed ledger. And it's going to run in these compliant use case clouds, so you'll be able to build for governments and institutions. And then it also goes on here talking about subnets. A subnet is where they run practice runs, so you can basically build up your blockchain, spin up your node, and then create a subnet to start testing the protocols. So basically it's for people, it sounds like it's basically for people who want to build on, they can build on top of Avalanche the Avalanche blockchain using Amazon Web Services. That's what it sounds like to me. So big deal. Amazon Web Services are helping build the infrastructure to the future, which is crypto. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below, and you made it to the end. So what is Forbes think the next big trend is? This is an article by, let's see, QAI, Powering a Personal Wealth Movement contributor, whoever that is. You want the next big trend? It's artificial intelligence in crypto. This is Forbes magazine. The key takeaways are the AI hype train has well and truly left the station. But what happens if you add AI hype to crypto hype? Well, that hype train goes from steam-powered locomotive to bullet train. AI has the potential to fundamentally change the way crypto universe works and could solve a lot of problems that have caused the sector to crash so badly in the past. The key word is potential, and there are a lot of issues and potential drawbacks that need to be covered before we see mainstream adoption. But when it comes to AI-powered crypto investing, the future is already here. So I think that's a super big deal. So let's look into this. It says, first of all, what is the problem with crypto? They talk about basically super wild swings is basically what they're talking about. And there's tons of fraud and hacks. Not really hacks, but I'm just adding that one in there. Why crypto and AI work so well together? First of all, fraud detection. It says crypto and blockchain are all about anonymity. This makes it vulnerable to a range of scams like market manipulation, outright theft. An AI algorithm trained to detect anomalies in transactions could help prevent rampant cash grabs. Basically, the feds are going to use it, and analytics companies are going to use it. And then they're going to sell that data to corporations. Risk protection. Basically, think of when you're selling, you can say, oh, I don't want to lose this much money. So they can kind of create their own algorithm for trading your crypto, basically, is what they're saying. And then you can automate it. Be like, oh, when it hits this point, then I want you to sell this much, whatever. And then you don't even have to worry about it. It'll just like protect your money, protect your downside, and try to maximize your upside. I wonder how long it's going to take till we get there. Anyway, it might already be there. Who knows? Where could we see AI go with crypto? Well, they can do sentiment analysis. They can basically read the internet and decide what how the majority of people feel about it. Decentralized autonomous agents are basically robots that will basically do all your trading for you. And then you basically won't need a money manager. And compliance and security, I think that's pretty obvious. AI can kind of run through and detect bugs and weaknesses in your code and the protocols. The drawbacks are it's still early. So let's look at AI. Let's just see if they're right about this. This was put out 5 days ago. Well, okay, so this 5 days ago, but still, look at this. This is coin market cap. I typed in AI big data tokens, and look at all these things in the last 7 days: up 13%, up 140%, up 44%, up 22%, up 13%. So I guess the Forbes was on to something. I don't know, but I think we'll have to look into this a little bit more in the next one. But if you want to read it, dig in a little bit more, use the links below. I'd love to hear what you think. Leave a comment. Let me know how I did today. And also, just leave a comment and be like, hey, it helps the algorithm. It helps make sure people see this content. We need as many people seeing this content as possible. I look forward to hearing from you. Have a good day. Hodl on.